Alright, so I got a quick little video here. Won't last long. There's a woman who's a professor who claims that she claims that the U.S. is closer to civil war than ever before. But what's interesting about it is what she does for a living. She's a professor, yes, but also who she works for, which I find very hilarious. And I'll speculate. I use reasonable speculation to figure out why she's actually doing this. So let me make sure everything is good here. Yep. Okay. Let's play this now.
The rigid refusal by lawmakers to compromise underscores the disturbing findings of one study on democracy in the US. According to a Washington Post editorial, data from the Center for Systemic Peace finds the US no longer technically qualifies as a democracy after the
Yes, we already know that the U.S. is not a democracy. So finally, it took you a couple decades to figure that out. Late, because
Trump administration years. It's somewhere between a democracy and an autocratic state. Barbara Walter is a professor of international relations at the School of Global Policy and Strategy at the University of California, San Diego. She joins me now, and I'm delighted. I mean, when we look at the research, it's frankly frightening, and you conclude that the US is, quote, closer to civil war than any of us would like to believe. How close?
Well, I've been studying civil wars for the last 30 years across the globe. And in fact, the last 4 years, I've been on a task force run by the CIA that tried.
ah, ah, she just admits it. It's like, oh yeah, by the way, I work for the CIA. It's not a big, I mean, yeah, we've been studying civil wars, trying to figure out how how civil wars started. It turns out the United States is closer to civil war than we ever were before. See, see, what a coincidence, huh? It turns out just like that, huh? Why? I'll speculate towards the end, but right now, let's keep watching this.
To predict where outside the United States a civil war, political violence, and instability is likely to break out. And we actually know now that the two best predictors of whether violence is likely to happen are whether a country is an anocracy, and that's a fancy term for a partial democracy, and whether ethnic entrepreneurs have emerged in a country that are using racial, religious, or ethnic divisions to try to gain political power. And the amazing thing about the United States is that both of these factors currently exist, and they have emerged at a surprisingly fast rate.
What's remarkable is the research isn't based on sentiment, it's based on metrics and markers and signs and facts that the US uses to determine the state of other countries' democracies and proximity to upheaval. So if the US were looking at another country and saw these signs, what would be the US evaluation of that country?
The US would look at that country and we would put that country.
All right, look. The rest of this really doesn't matter much. It's more like more same crap, Oh, the wars, and we'll do this and we'll do that. Basically, unfortunately, I can't check her study or research and like that because it's written and they're promoting her book. At the end, towards the end, she talks about the book, which is How Civil Wars Start and How to Stop Them by Barbara F. Walter. Again, it's not out yet. It's out some point early next year, I think. What's the date on this? January 11th. January 11th, 2022. So a few weeks away, a month away. What's today? You're less than a month away. So that's when her book comes out. Unfortunately, there's no way to really see whether this research is true or not. So it could be bullshit because the CIA loves, they got to get their funding somehow. They have to do domestic spying, so why not use the war, possible civil war as an excuse in order to watch out for dissidents on the right and on the left too. So yeah, those are my quick thoughts on that.